Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sammy Leggett here representing Team JVS, here to give you guys the final review for the Mission Impossible franchise with Tom Cruise. As it stands currently, this is the 8th film coming off of Dead Reckoning. Now we've got Mission Impossible, the final reckoning. So, huge cast. Haley Atwell is back as the role of Grace. Palm is back as Paris. Heck, they've got Hannah Winningham. She plays a key role in this. If you've seen Ted Lasso, she's amazing. They got Tremel Tillman. If you've seen Severance, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, a slew of other characters, Angela Bassett, and of course the amazing Tom Cruise. And there's so many other actors and actresses in this. I mean, heck, Nick Offerman is back in this role. So it's a swan song. They have a huge cast. But the question is, does it deliver? Yes, it does. I actually had a ball with this movie. But to be honest with you, like over the years, I've been a Mission Impossible fan. Like I've loved what Tom has done with this role, what with this IP, with this entity off of his back. Truth be told, from MI3, this became something completely different. And I think that it's this man's willingness, diligence to the art form that has paved the way to the entertainment that we get from this franchise as a whole. And every single movie that he's done through this franchise, yes, there's been a lot of character interaction, evolution, love, tragedy, loss, espionage. There's been a lot of heart. He's put his whole heart into it. But the other side of his heart is also putting his body on the line. And I think that when you have great villains over the years and great scenarios, some villains less than others, and even current villains, but we've had some iconic things. And in a role like this, you have to up the ante. And that's exactly what he's done. He has pushed the limits of what you expect in any actor to do that has ever been seen from the likes of Jackie Chan himself, that does every single stunt, and he's done that for years. That's what I need. I need to get those two in a movie together. But in this one, he does two specific stunts that I realize this 60-something-year-old man may actually be insane. And you've heard about it. You've heard about the aerial plane sequence and what they do with it. Whatever you've heard, whatever behind the scenes featurette you've seen, it doesn't do it justice. This is true insanity. I don't even know how to kind of talk around it. I just wanted to go ahead and get it out the way. He commanded that scene. It was way more impressive because the other set piece is the submarine sequence, which is equally as in crazy because I don't want to spoil the movie, but the way that he's kind of having to traverse around certain things and elements, and even there's a certain moment towards the climax of that scene that's probably one of the most beautiful shots, beautiful upside down shots in the whole entire movie. Whoever was the DP in this put their foot in this. These shots and the sets are insane. They literally, even down to the pacing, they paced it really well. Like the movie didn't feel overlong. It felt near perfectly paced while at the same time giving you a lot to digest. And I think it's a good falling out. I think it's a good send off for this character, for Tom Cruise's legacy, and it's absolutely an unmissable film. You need to see it, especially if you watched the other films previously. So I'm just going to say that. Now, what were some of the characters I actually thought was really cool? Like outside of Tom, I'm gonna give him his flowers in a little bit. Outside of Tom, Palm's character coming back as Paris. She is such an interesting addition to this, and yet she works really well. Palm, in the fact that this is the same actress play the role of Mantis. The last movie she was in, which was Dead Reckoning, she was a menace. She was more menacing than the main character to me, the main antagonist. I mean, And again, I like I see Morales' character Gabriel to an extent, but she was the one that lit up a lot for me in the last one. But she's no different in this one. She has some highlight roles in this. The other character that is key to this and the success of this franchise, in my opinion, is Simon Pegg. Benji is amazing in this film. If you love Benji or even like Benji, you're gonna fall in love with Benji on so many different levels. And that goes for the whole entire crew because Haley Atwell is really great in this film. Ving Rhames, oh my gosh, is always been amazing. But they are connected to who Ethan has become. Not necessarily just his heart, but who he has become. There are some newcomers in this one. I mean, as you can see, the far right, there's Greg Tarzan Davis play an interesting key role into this one. He does get a lot of screen time. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. There are some huge surprises and characters and actors you haven't seen in a while. I love how they kind of handled that. So that's a really big plus. There's this scene right here. This scene made you understand how lethal Ethan Hunt truly is, and it surprised everyone in the theater. So I just want to give that a huge shout out. The way they kind of handled that, it's a simple thing, but I think they handled it really well. Now, what do I think as far as like some things, nitpicks or any negatives? As much as I think that the character Gabriel is a really interesting opposite to Ethan and definitely gives him a run for his money. It's more so like he's utilizing this AI system to his advantage to get a leg up over Ethan. Ethan very much so is still on the top. He's just never giving it a break. He's never going to give Ethan an upper hand at any moment. So I think that makes for a good villain. It just is not as engaging as some of the other previous villains that we've gotten in the past. It's not a bad role. It's just not as engaging. I mean, even if you're using both of them, the entity and Gabriel, it doesn't traverse as well as an impact. The thing that makes this work and where the real menace in this is the circumstance of what's happening in the world. Like the world is truly in peril. It is truly a high stakes situation. That's why characters like Angela Bassett, like Tremel Tillwell, Hannah Weddingham, they play a huge intricate role in this because the stakes are just so high. And I think that every single one of the team members, it's not just Ethan that has to perform. I think that, and not to say that the other movies haven't done that, where it's like it's been important that the other characters perform, but this is a do or die situation. Regardless of what Ethan can or will do, they have to make what they're doing equally as important. They have to work. And I think that that is where you don't need necessarily a strong villain. You just have to make sure it is something that connects with the audience. And I connected with every single one of the actors that are playing these, you know, protagonist roles in a sense. Now, Tom Cruise, he is there. There are emotional scenes with him. There are scenes where he's compromised physically, emotionally, mentally. Um, and he's very vulnerable in this one. Very vulnerable, while at the same time very strong and seasoned and capable. But I think the thing that makes it so interesting in this one, this is the most that I've seen Ethan trust. He's had to trust. He's had to put his faith and trust in things that he's never. And I think that I love that fact because over the period of time, like Ghost Protocol, Fallout, even the last one, Dead Reckoning, Ethan has had to go outside the norm and go outside the rules a lot to make sure that this can function, that this can actually work, that he knows he can't do it on his own. And I think that's what makes this so impactful as a franchise. And I think that's why everybody gravitates for it. They circle around the idea of family without saying family, like the franchise that I was gonna kind of pick at. But this is you can't miss this one. I think it is stretched a little long. It's a little long. Again, the villain not as this or that. Second to third act transition, it's a lot to digest. There's a lot of loops that they kind of try to close, but it was still so gratifying. I I enjoyed this more than Dead Reckoning. This was one of my favorites from this franchise, even though I love a lot about all of them. So this one for me is 8.5 out of 10, easy. I mean, it could be end up agreeing to a 9. I haven't seen it again, but I highly recommend you go and check it out if you've never seen it. And if you're a fan of the franchise, you're not gonna get let down by it. So go and check out what's called Final Destination, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning as soon as you can. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Thank you guys for following. Peace, people.
Filing out the top of the
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind.